Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hey everyone, we're going to be looking at the big three: EOS, OMG, NEO, and WTC, all on the daily time frame to start it off. Working on a cold right now, so we'll see how my throat holds up. We'll start with Bitcoin as we're getting very close to these daily charts breaking. We had this weekend as a target for these charts to get close to a flex point where we must see a break. Right now I'm drawing our higher lows and lower highs, and we've just formed our higher low yesterday, and here are the bulls making their attempt to break out. Now this could be the top. If this is the top of the attempt today, then we could pull back into tomorrow and form yet another higher low and still stay tight. So this is the bulls a chance here to really drive it home and break this pattern in their favor. And Bitcoin needs to get over 11,690 for a clear bull break on the daily time frame, in my opinion. Today we're topping out at 11,485, so we're currently about $200 shy of that level. So looking at things on the daily, we got the MACD ready to go if we get our bull cross. We will still be watching these exponential moving averages, which have rejected the bulls on the initial attempt. And zooming in the 4-hour time frame, starting to see the the exponential moving averages here, the 12 and the 26 period, trying to make a bull cross back to the upside. So we got a bull break attempt, but we still have some lower highs here, and there's another resistance level thrown in besides the ones that we see on the daily chart, which is why if you zoom in, you can get more details. 11,570 is that other resistance level. And on other exchanges, aside from GDAX, we are already seeing bullish breaks on names like Ethereum, and just watching to see if these other exchanges pick back up and follow suit. So where we stand on Bitcoin, healthy consolidation after a morning bull break. Bulls ideally want to hold this low of consolidation, and you can see it's a double bottom down there. 10,853, 10,850. So essentially a double bottom. Anything above that will be a higher low. And the bulls are looking to progress after a recovery from that dump where we got to oversold conditions yet again, just touched right about 30. So again, this is the attempt for the bulls to break the daily equilibrium pattern in their favor. If they cannot do so, we will lose the hourly higher low pattern and we'll head back down, and it will be clear that we are going to stay in this daily tightening range for another day or two. Ethereum is clearly bullish, more bullish than Bitcoin. The daily chart also MACD, not as close to crossing, but we would certainly follow through if we do get a bull break here. And we have a double top at this point as we were on the verge of breaking bullish. Of course, the correlation with Bitcoin is still relevant. We're not going to break out and run to all-time highs. I should say we're unlikely to break out and run towards all-time highs if Bitcoin's not going to break out bullish as well. So zooming in to see where we stand here and where we topped out, 4-hour chart. Healthy turnaround for the bulls. Bulls in full control on the 4-hour. Here's the hourly with the bull break and some healthy consolidation. We're forming an hourly inside bar right now. And it's just this double top at 1,100 psychological resistance that the bulls are trying to get over. I personally entered a trade on Ethereum this morning, and it was the kind of thing where I didn't even really have a lot of time to react. I just woke up and we were just breaking this level. And I just looked at the chart visually on the hourly, and I could see we had pretty much a horizontal resistance line that was now just being broken. So I did get in with some market orders, got a little bit of coin on consolidation on the way up, but it was mostly market orders, and I'm currently in a 60% position. I will add if we break 1,100, and I will look to lock in some profit if we lose an hourly higher low pattern. So this was also a bull break, the same break that I got in on, a bull break on the 4-hour inside bar, and I didn't have my alert system going, didn't have my phone near me, and I didn't even know that when I entered my trade, but it's always nice to look at other different time frames and get confirmation of what you're seeing on other time frames. So the inside bar bull break on the 4-hour time frame here was at $1,065, and we got some nice follow through from that, about 2.5–3% to the upside. So where we stand right now, same thing. We still have not broken, but we are much closer to on the daily time frame. If Bitcoin is going to break, Ethereum is certainly going to break, and after 1,100, we're looking at 1,165 as the next resistance level. Checking in, looks like I don't have Litecoin up here. Litecoin is going to be following the same kind of pattern. We got this resistance level that the bulls are trying to break. That's up at 185 if we're rounding a bit. Zooming into the 4-hour time frame. So the 4-hour chart, we can see we're not close to breaking resistance just yet. We're not close to these exponential moving averages crossing bullish. The hourly time frame is not nearly as bullish as the other two names. We have not broken to an hourly higher high from where we were right when the day turned over here on the East Coast. And we look at Ethereum and Bitcoin on the hourly time frame as comparison, and look how much higher Bitcoin got than its previous high, and look how much higher Ethereum got than its previous high. So again, it's the same pattern that we're seeing for the past 3 to 4 days. Ethereum strongest, Bitcoin middle, Litecoin weakest. It's just that's the correlation that we have, and that's not going to change anytime soon unless we see a reason for it fundamentally with some volume picking up to break these correlations. So checking in on these other names, some of these altcoins definitely still following Bitcoin. This daily chart for EOS USD is getting very tight. So again, equilibrium patterns everywhere. We have our high, our low, lower high. I'm going to sync these up, use the magnet icon to get them exact. So the levels on the right side are exact to where we want them. And then we had our higher low, and now here we are with another lower high. So the range is getting very tight. We've been in this pattern for weeks and weeks. The key levels that I'm currently watching, you could even tighten it up and say that's our higher low. I would say the range is 1280 to 1510. That is the range that I would be acting on. Just because we break the first higher low doesn't mean it's, bull signal, we're going to go, or bear signal, we're going to pull back. That is the first indication, and that would significantly shift the odds in favor of whichever direction the break occurs, but it's not the ultimate. I would say if we break the two levels, so for example, if we break this first resistance and then the second resistance up here on the daily chart here, that would be a very clear bull break. But either way, I would personally be acting on the first break of the levels that I just gave. And it's extremely tight, so I would expect likely going to see a break once we see breaks of these daily patterns on Bitcoin and the big three. So it's still very bullish overall. We're looking at the weekly chart, coming from a strong uptrend. So the only red flag for bulls at this point is if 1280 breaks. If 1280 does not break, the bulls maintain full control. That's a different setup from where we stand on these big three, because it's up to the bulls to prove themselves on these names where we've been consolidating for a couple weeks on Bitcoin and Ethereum, whereas EOS, it's up to the bears to prove themselves because the bulls still have the trend in their favor. OMG on the daily chart is looking a lot weaker, but it too is in an equilibrium pattern. Similar to Bitcoin, we had our all-time high, we pulled back, and we're now in an equilibrium pattern from that pullback. So we have our higher low and lower high pattern continuing to tighten up. We have another one right in there. So I would be looking at the range here of 1446 support and 1918 resistance. That's the tight range. Again, every single coin that I'm looking at, I shouldn't say every single, but let's say 90% of the coins that I look at are in equilibrium tightening patterns, because that's what the big three in the market overall is doing. So the bears are favored here, and I say that because we're near support. We're much closer to a bear break than a bull break, and it's a weak candlestick right now. So just comparing that to where Ethereum's at on the daily, we are so much closer to a bull break because of where we stand comparative to resistance. And for OMG, it's much closer to a bear break for the same reason. So zooming in on the 4-hour time frame, we could pick out more levels if we wanted to, pick out different resistance levels. And if you were in this coin, I highly suggest doing that. You could get some more key tighter ranges by using the 4-hour time frame. But as far as the swing traders are concerned, the daily chart is where it's at, and we are not breaking just yet. NEO USD on the daily chart, also in a very tight equilibrium pattern. So we have our all-time high, our pullback, our lower high. Then we're coming down to our higher low, another lower high, another higher low. The range right now, we're down at 124.02 support and 148.07 resistance. We are closer to a bull break than a bear break compared to where we're positioned in this tight range. So looking for a break sometime in the next 2 days or so. Some of these names could stay in their tightening patterns a little bit longer than Bitcoin and Ethereum and the big names like and NEO right here could definitely stay in here for another 2-3 days. But again, I expect the correlations to pick up with the big three when they break. So the 4-hour time frame, I could pick out a couple other levels, not really many, and watching for this range to break to give us an indication on the daily time frame. So this is why this weekend is so big for the entire cryptocurrency space, and why I keep saying that it's going to dictate the momentum as we head into February, because we're going to see a clear bull break or clear bear break from many daily charts, and that's going to give us momentum and direction. And it's really going to answer a lot of questions. Everybody wants to know where are we going right now, and my answer to everybody is wait for this break over the weekend, most likely, that's when we're going to get a lot more clarity of the short-term direction. So I've been an advocate of the bulls in control of Bitcoin on the weekly chart. At this point, if we get a daily bear break, that will shift, and it will certainly be more bearish on the weekly chart. But again, give me this chart for any stock, and even if you use log, I don't use log, but it definitely makes the chart look different. The amount of the size of the breakout, the amount of the pullback that we've seen to this point is not concerning to the long-term bulls. We have not broken any key support levels and have not changed the weekly trend. Like I said in the last video, we would have to see a more significant bounce and then a break of support. Otherwise, this is just a consolidation period. The last consolidation period that we saw was very brief, but it was down at 5,511. So wrapping it up, let's look at WTC. This is clearly the lead bull, all-time highs and running strong. So it's on fire. This is on Binance. The other three were on Bitfinex. And here on Binance, the daily chart is certainly favoring the bulls. The last daily low of consolidation that we have to go off of. Again, using that magnet tool. I'm looking down at 286. So 286 is the key support level that the bulls need to maintain. We have the higher low before that way down at 149. So that's why this level is so important. If that's lost, there's a lot of space until we get some next clear resistance or next clear support levels. 4-hour time frame, again, if I were in a name that were running this strong, I would be using 4-hour support levels as my exit signal. Losing the 4-hour higher low pattern generally will indicate that we are going to consolidate on the daily time frame. So here that higher low is 3322 and currently holding as we are at the all-time high. And we're just looking at some psychological resistance levels, but really just it's as high as the bulls can take it. If you want to use the hourly time frame, the support level is the same as the 4-hour, but we can see back here that we lost the higher low pattern on the hourly chart, and then the bull saw continuation. So just seeing that previous price action, that alone would make me only use this 4-hour time frame because that 1-hour chart has not been as reliable by breaking that level. So that's where we stand on all of these names. We will certainly be checking in. I will be adding to my Ethereum position if we get the bull break. Otherwise, I will patiently wait to potentially add on consolidation or just take profit and then reassess the situation. The bulls are in full control of Ethereum, but we have that resistance to break at that double top. All about Bitcoin and the correlation to everything else. Everything's holding its breath and waiting for some volume spikes, and I do expect volume and activity to pick up comparatively on the daily chart when we do get this break. We can see the daily chart has been increasingly declining in volume on Bitcoin here, and I will look for that to break tomorrow, more likely than not. So I appreciate you tuning in. Always remember to do good things, and we will see you tomorrow. We'll see if my throat's good enough to do live. We'll let you know.